Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how we can pull in cryptocurrency prices in Excel using powerquery. So what I'm going to do is download the historical prices from coingecko.com and save these files into a folder and make it so that powerquery will automatically pull in that data and give us the history by these different cryptocurrencies. So sort of by date. So to get that information, you can just click on any one of these cryptocurrencies, and then on the CoinGecko website, there is an option to get historical data. So if I click on that, there's a download option. So this will give me all the historical dates that it has available, and then download it onto your computer. And so with powerquery, we can make this so that anytime you download the latest data and save it to your computer, it can automatically update that in Excel through powerquery. And so all you really have to do is just download this data. So it's not live, it won't be a live connection, but when you download it, save it to your computer, you can automate the refresh process. So I'll show you how that works. So I've already saved these files on a folder I've got in Excel. And so if I want to access that in powerquery, I go to the data tab and select get data from file and select from folder. And so here I've got a folder called crypto. It doesn't have any items in here just because I'm selecting a folder, but I've already saved my files in here. So I click on open. It's going to open up that folder and show me everything that's in there. And so as you can see, I've got all these different cryptocurrencies that I've downloaded from that website. And so they all have that prefix in front to tell you what the cryptocurrency symbol is. So now what I'm going to do is I can hit the combine button because I want to combine all this, but I also want to transform that data too before I actually load it into Excel. So I'm going to select combine and transform data. And now it's going to open up powerquery with my data loaded into here. And so I'm going to hit retry here because it's giving me a format error. Actually, I have to edit so these files are in a CSV format. So the one thing I need to do is change it so it opens it as a CSV document. So by default, it's using an Excel workbook, but I just need to tell it's a CSV. Now when I hit OK, that should take care of that issue. So now we see the different columns here. So it's using the comma delimiter because before it was all in just a single column separated by commas. So by using that comma delimiter, it does that step for me in breaking it out. So now it looks good. I'm going to hit OK. And now it'll give me the Power Query window where I can start making changes to this. So here it is in Power Query. And so I've got my columns all set up. I've got my source name in here. And the one thing I'm going to need to do is extract that symbol at the beginning, so I know what each cryptocurrency is, because with Power Query it's using the same process for every file. You'll notice here it's a sample file, so this is basically saying, okay, it's going to follow each one of these steps for those files. So each one of the files that I download is going to go through that same process. So I want to make sure that I do this consistently and correctly so that it's always doing the same steps. So one thing I'm going to need to do is pull out that symbol. So what I can do is if I go under the transform tab here in Power Query and I have this column selected, there's an option to extract text before a delimiter, because you'll notice I've got BTC USD. So I want to grab that BTC. So text before the delimiter. Now I can't just say, just pull in the first 3 characters, just because in case of like dogecoin, it's got 4 characters there. So I'm going to use a delimiter. So I'm just going to enter a dash and that's it. So I'm going to hit OK and it's pulled that out. So I've got that in there. and I've got the symbol. But I need that symbol to be in the header, and I also need to bump up these rows so they're in the header. So if I go back to the home tab, there's an option to use the first row as the header. So that's what I want to do. Bump those up. So now I've got BTC, got the dates, and now I can rename these. So this is the symbol, and let's call this the date, and then we've got the price. And so what I'm also going to do here is I'm going to adjust the date field here, just because it's got this UTC at the end. It's got, a timestamp, which really isn't helpful here in this case. So again, I'm going to go back to the transform tab, and under extract, I'm going to select first characters. And the reason I'm doing this is because you notice these dates, they're always going to have a placeholder, whether it's the first day of the month, or whether there's a 0, it's always going to have that placeholder. So it's always going to be a set number of characters here. So we've got 4 for the day, 2 for the month, 2 for the day. So there's always going to be 10 characters. 4, 6, 8 plus the 2 dashes. So that's 10. So I'm going to select the first characters for the date. So I'm going to count the first 10 and get rid of everything else, just so I've got a cleaner setup for my date. It's going to make this easier to convert this to a date later on by getting rid of those extra characters. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these other columns. So I don't need the market cap, and I don't need the total volume. Now, obviously, you could keep it if you wanted to, but I'm just going to use a simple table for pulling in the prices. So I want the prices by the different cryptocurrencies. So now the next thing I'm going to do is this price right now is reading as a text value. And I know that because, it's got ABC 1, 2, 3. So it's basically alphanumeric, and it's aligned to the left. So if it's a number, it would be aligned to the right. So I'm going to click on this and select decimal numbers. It's got decimal places here. So now it pushes to the right. Now we can see that it's a number, right? And you see this 1.2 side, that tells you it's a decimal number. That's how you would know that that's correct. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pivot this, because I want to flip this so that the symbols are going across rather than going up and down. And this will make it a lot easier to pull in all that data. So the one thing I'm not going to do yet is convert this date field into an actual date, because it actually causes an error if I do it if I try to pivot it at this time. So I'm on the transform tab, and I'm going to hit pivot column here. And my values column is the price column. So I'm going to hit OK. And now you can see now it's flipped everything. And so I've got my different cryptocurrencies going across, got my dates going up and down. Now there's no values here just because the data that downloaded, it doesn't go that far back for all these other ones, depending on when they started trading. So as you can see, we've got the data, it's just not filled in for all those dates. So that looks to be okay. So now I can go to the home tab and hit close and load. Now when I do that, it's going to download into my Excel spreadsheet. And so now I've got these prices. So as you can see, I go to 2024, I've got these values in here. So the one thing I may just want to do at this point is just convert this so we've got enough decimal places. And just so it's reading all that data. So the data is all in there. It's just a matter of whether we've got enough decimal places to see it. But as you can see, by doing this, we can download many different cryptocurrencies. It's just a matter of downloading more of them, putting them into that folder, and then powerquery is going to take care of the rest. So in the future dates, what I could do is download these files again, save them in that same folder, and then once I do, then it's just a matter of going to the data tab, hitting refresh all, and it's going to do that refresh. It's going to go through all those steps, and it's going to re-download that data. So it's going to do those exact same steps that I already did in powerquery, such as getting the name, pivoting it, transforming it into a number, a decimal format, so that way you don't have to do that process manually anymore. Power Query is going to remember those steps, save them, and repeat them. So all you have to do in the future, if you wanted to download the prices, the historical prices from that CoinGecko website, go there, download it, save it to that folder that you specified at the beginning, and then do a refresh. Now, the one caveat with this, when you're doing this sort of process, is with Power Query, it's remembering your steps. So the one risk is if in the future, let's say this file format changes and they don't have a dash, or that they use a different naming convention, then obviously that's going to cause a problem, because we're using that delimiter to use that dash to say, okay, this is where the cryptocurrency symbol ends, and so pull that. So if the name potentially changes, that's where it could potentially cause an issue. But other than that, as you can see, these steps are all saved here. So Power Query is running through these steps each and every time that it's downloading that data. So whether it's today, whether it's 6 months from now, it's going to do the same process. As long as we're saving it, it's going to go into that exact same folder, that I specified, my C drive, crypto, put everything in there, do a refresh, and when Power Query does a refresh, it goes through each one of these single steps and then loads it into Excel. So by doing that, you save yourself the process of doing it manually. So I hope you found this video useful. If you did like it, please leave a like and make sure to subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.